So the next chapter is the appointment of auditors. This is also called as company audit chapter. Nothing but appointment of auditors. We are discussing all appointment related provisions, rules and regulations. Getting it? And I hope many of you have grip on this chapter. Mostly. Okay. So I'll go little faster now. So in this chapter, we are going to discuss these sections 138, 139, 140, 141, 142, 143, 144, 145, 146, 147, 148. These are the sections that we have. This is regarding internal audit. This is regarding appointment and reappointment of auditors. This is regarding removal, resignation. This is regarding qualifications and disqualifications. Correct? This is regarding remuneration of auditor, rights and duties of auditor, prohibited services, yes or no? And this is regarding signing of the audit report, duty to sign. And this is regarding duty to attend general meetings, not AGM. General meetings, everything is covered. 147, penalty provisions. 148 is regarding cost audit. 148 is regarding cost audit. Now, first we'll start with qualifications and disqualifications of an auditor. So what are they saying actually? See, once you qualify as a CA, you can either take up the practice or you can either take up employment, or you may do some other business completely, outrightly different from CA. Now, if you decided to take up practice, first you should have a membership number. By qualifying CA final, you will not become member. You need to obtain membership number by paying specifically some fees. Okay, there is a member enrollment fee, something. And you are not eligible to practice directly. For practice again, you have to pay separate fee. Certificate of practice. You see, the practice is CE, not SE. Observe. It is not PRACTI SE. Practice. Practice. Getting it? Sa. There is a difference. SE is not the actual name. Practice means it's a noun. It's a license. It's actually have another meaning called license. You can claim yourself as a chartered accountant. Chartered accountant is different, CA is different, All this that you are thinking that's just an abbreviation. No, CA is a qualification. Chartered accountant is a designation. Section 7 of CA Act. It says the word chartered accountant can be used only by those who are having COP. Getting the point generally. That's how the provision was. You cannot use the designation chartered accountant. Suppose you want to name and below you want to use full form chartered accountant. People think you are practicing CA by default. But if you put CA, they don't think that you are a practicing person. They may ask you what you are doing. But if you put a board and claim below chartered accountant, means people naturally think that you are practicing. That fact even CA Institute recognized. So they said the CA cannot use chartered accountant as a designation. Getting it? You can use the designation if you are in practice, no problem. In the name board you can have at home, but it is not permitted if you don't have COP. That's the actual intention of the provision is that. Getting it? Beside your name CA you can put. Getting the point? CA caramharsha I can use, whether I am in practice or not. But chartered accountant designation I cannot use. Understood or not? Now, as per CA Act, you can start this license, you can get this license, practice, COP, either if you are individually practicing or you are practicing as a partnership firm. See, what is firm, Firm means it may be a sole proprietary firm or a partnership firm. Firm means anything. Getting it? Individual we call him as sole proprietary firm. Partnership is nothing but partnership firm. We'll discuss all this you will get all this at CA final. How to incorporate partnership firm, code of ethics is what. So firm registration number means what. Everything you will be getting at final. Now it is not required. Getting it? Next up. So now for a company, who can be appointed as an auditor? Sole proprietor, individual. He can be appointed as an auditor provided if he is a chartered accountant holding certificate of practice, or a firm. A firm means actually what? Partnership firm or LLP firm where majority partners are practicing in India. and qualified. They may be appointed by the company in the name of the firm. By using in the name of the firm, I can appoint. The firm itself can be appointed. But the partner of the firm will sign the audit report. The partner of the firm will sign the financials. He is called as engagement partner. Understood or not? All of you. Next. Now this is the qualification. Now okay, a firm is appointed, partnership firm LLP. Who should sign the audit report? Only the partner who are chartered accountants shall sign the audit report. So partners who are chartered accountants shall sign the. All partners will sign or only one partner? One partner is enough. Able to understand. Any one partner the firm should choose and that partner will sign and he is called as engagement partner. Getting it? Next. Now there is a question in the institute book in first chapter, I think first or somewhere it will come. Suppose one partner was appointed as an auditor. One partner is the engagement partner. He verified entire audit, but before he signing, he died. Can other partner sign the audit report without verifying the working of the previous partner? No. The other partner before he sign, first should review the entire workings performed by previous partner or the other partner. Then get a conclusion whether the other partner has performed all the reasonable necessary evidences obtained or not. Only after that, this fellow will proceed further. Able to understand? For that answer is not given so lengthy. Some 4 or 5 lines only it is given. Next. Disqualifications. Who are not disqualified? Who are not eligible to act as an auditor? All of them are CS only. But still we will not appoint. Why? To protect independence. We want the auditor must be independent. So anybody who has relationship with our company, we will not appoint. Who? A body corporate other than LLP. A body corporate is not eligible because Companies Act itself says body corporate is boycotted. Body corporate has a separate legal entity status from members. Now when an auditor and the company, suppose I incorporated a private company. I qualified CA, COP, me and my 3 friends together, totally 5 of us, example. All 5 of us became a shareholders in company. We wanted to act as auditor. Our company itself want to act as auditor for another company. Now separate legal entity, limited liability, so many issues were there, no? Can auditor have separate legal entity status? Is audit a technical work? No. It's a work involving personal intelligence. Personally you should be liable, yes or no? You cannot be under the protection of separate legal entity, limited liability. No, auditor should have personal liability in the audit. Getting the point? So body corporates are straight away boycotted. And anyhow, in CA Act, you can't incorporate body corporate. You are only permitted to practice as a individual or you are permitted to practice as a firm. Then officer of the company is disqualified, employee of the company is disqualified. Officer and employee both are disqualified. Officer means so many were there in the officer position. Yes or no? Like all the directors will come as an officer. All of them, key managerial person, they all come under officer. I am a director in a company. How can I do audit of the same company? I am working as an employee in this company. How can I do audit of the same company? Self-review threat. Next. A person who is a partner or who is in employment of an officer or employee. This is nothing but partner of an employee. What is this? Partner of an employee. Partner of an officer. Both are disqualified. Same way, employee of an employee. Employee of an officer. Both are disqualified. Director has some other business. In that you are working as an employee. You cannot act as an auditor for this company. In this company there is an employee. He has some other business. You are acting as an employee there. You cannot do this audit of the same company. Able to understand. So, for company officer and employee, their partners, their employees, who are those chartered accountants, disqualified. Clear? All of you. Next. A person who means the CA or his relative or his partner, getting it, holding any security or interest in the company, its a subsidiary, its holding, associate, subsidiary of the holding. Subsidiary of the holding is called as a sister company. Subsidiary of the holding means what? I am having one holding company. This company has another subsidiary. We both are having common parent. Then we are called as siblings, sisters company. Getting it? Not brother companies. Next. So, if a person, a person or relative or partner is holding any security or interest in the company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, or subsidiary of its holding company is disqualified. In exam, you should write this entire provision. Only then you will get full marks. Yes or no? If auditor is holding shares in the company, is disqualified. That is correct answer, but that is not complete answer. Understood or not? Same way, if the auditor is indebted, by the way, before that, now if you have security or interest, right? Security means what? There are so many equity shares, preference shares, bonds, debentures, mutual funds, derivatives, so many were there. Getting it? Now, your relatives can have securities up to 1 lakh rupee face value. How much maximum a relative can have? 1 lakh rupee in the face value. Remember, the 1 lakh rupee exception is applicable only if the relatives are holding securities. If auditor is holding in his name, the exception do not apply. Now, relatives can hold up to 1 lakh rupee face value, right? Where in the company they use the word. Actually, there is no interpretation for that. People wrongly interpret. Even institute book also contains the word. If the shares are held in the same company, best example, Tata Group itself you take. Tata Group is best to understand this. Suppose Tata Motors is looking for auditors. This is the Tata Motors which is actually looking for auditors. It has holding company Tata Sons. This has a subsidiary company Jaguar Land Rover Range Rover. This has associate company some electric motor company. Getting it? This has a sister company TCS. It has sister company Tata Steel, Tata Power, Tata Chemical, Tata Beverages, Tata Salt. These are all various companies. Getting it? Now, so we have covered it's like auditor or relative or partner. Originally, main provision should not have shares in Tata Motors, its holding company, its subsidiary company, associate company, or subsidiaries of the same holding companies. Nothing but sister. We should not have shares. Only then we are eligible. Only then we can be appointed as an auditor. However, relative can have securities in the company up to an amount of 1 lakh. That's what they are saying. Not exceeding 1 lakh. In the company means only Tata Motors or every group. Logically, everywhere I can have. Altogether one group. Altogether maximum 1 lakh. But in the institute book of CA final, they gave a clarification. They gave just a point that relative can hold securities only in the company where you are acting as auditor, but cannot hold in other companies. That's a blender interpretation. Sir, but ICA book gave no. Who prepared ICA book? God, human being only, no? Correct, la? So, just because ICA book is containing some point, that doesn't mean it is always right. Able to understand. You should apply common sense. I am doing audit of a company. In that you are permitting my relative. Why not other group companies? In fact, I am not auditor in Tata Sons. I am not auditor in TCS. I am not auditor in Jaguar Land Rover. I am not auditor for this company. In that company, let my relative have what problem? In my company, where I am acting as auditor, you are permitting relative. Why not others? That's a wrong interpretation, no? In the exception, no. See, every time I cannot give the entire list, no. Every time I cannot give entire list. So exception when they are drafting, they simply used the word the company. They didn't use the entire sentence. Now people are interpreting the company means only the company. Is there any significance for the word THE? Is there any significance for that? Thing. Above context they used this. So literally relatives can have securities up to 1 lakh rupee face value in all the companies put together. All my relatives together, in all the companies together, maximum face value, 1 lakh aggregate. But in exam point of view, you should consider only the company. Yes or no? Because in the suggested answer, what is used? Correct, huh? Yes. Sometimes if it is wrong, we should say it is wrong, but we should follow. Okay, next. So relative can have up to face value 1 lakh. Understood all of you? Next. Suppose indebtedness point. How much indebtedness is permitted? Maximum up to 5 lakh. Now here indebtedness, can auditor also have? Yes. Here you see a person who relative partner indebted to the company or group companies in excess of 5 lakhs. Up to 5 lakhs it is permitted. Main point you see, auditor is straightaway prohibited. Exception says relative can hold. Up to 1 lakh. main provision do not contain 1 lakh security. Auditor cannot hold securities at all. But can I have indebtedness to the company up to 5 lakhs? Yes. Me, my relative, my partner, all of us together to the entire group companies, maximum outstanding indebtedness is how much? 5 lakhs. That's it. Are you getting the point? All of you. Or if auditor has given guarantee or provided security on behalf of third person to this company or group companies. I am using the word group company for convenience. Group means what? Remaining 4 companies. Other than this company, remaining 4. It's holding, it's a subsidiary, it's associate, it's a subsidiary of the holding company. Up to how much it is permitted? 1 lakh. The limit of 1 lakh will apply even for the company not having share capital. If the company is limited by guarantee, see this guarantee is different, paid up capital guarantee is different. Here guarantee means guarantee given on behalf of third party to the company. A third company, you can sell goods to them. They are trustworthy people. I am giving guarantee. That guarantee is different. Becoming a shareholder by guarantee is different. So this point exception is what? Becoming a shareholder by guarantee. Can you become a shareholder in a company by giving guarantee? At the time you become a member, no. So can you give any company? Can you become a member of any company by giving guarantee? An auditor? No. However, relatives can they become? Yes. Up to how much they can give guarantee by member? 1 lakh. Paid up capital you are permitted to hold up to 1 lakh face value. Same way guarantee also up to how much face value? 1 lakh. Yes or no? Next. Now you see, indebtedness they are saying, right? Indebtedness means what? Suppose company sold me goods in ordinary course of business on credit. Just like any other customer of the company, I also got credit period and I got 6 lakhs worth of goods. Just like any other customer. And the company is now asking me to appoint as an auditor. Will I accept or not? No. Even in ordinary course of business, doesn't matter. You are indebted for 5 lakhs or more. Yes, disqualified. Ordinary course, extraordinary course, in normal course, that and all doesn't matter. If auditor is indebted for more than 5 lakhs, disqualify. Correct? Now, can auditor receive audit fees in advance? Entire audit fee can I take in advance? If you take entire audit fee in advance before you start the work, it will again become indebtedness, no? Before you start work, how can you take the fee? Which means you are taking advance. Advance is indebtedness. So take fees only on progressive basis. Finish some percentage of work, take fees. That is permitted. Next. So that's it. Next is about business relationship point. Next one is relating to business relationship point. So this is little bit lengthy. We will take break and then come back. Okay, all of you, just go and get back within 15 minutes. So we'll continue with all this business relationship, all that. So the next disqualification is regarding business relationship. Next disqualification is regarding business. Remember, I will not cover each and every point. Briefly, I will revise and proceed. Getting it? So what are they saying? If a person or a firm which has a business relationship with a company or group companies. Now here actually group companies means there is additional one more company added. Subsidiary of associate company. Generally what are the companies? Auditor, the company, or its holding company, or its subsidiary company, or its associate company, or its subsidiary of holding company, subsidiary of associate company is another point added in this. See, for this, no, there is no specific intention behind law. These provisions are drafted by different people at different points of time. So that is the only reason why this kind of inconsistency will be there. Suppose actually if you see the bottom, no, J, there is another disqualification, there is another disqualification. What it says you say. Here you see, if any person directly or indirectly providing prohibited services to the company, its holding company or its subsidiary, only 3 are covered totally. Whereas in business relationship, totally 6 were covered. Whereas securities, indebtedness, guarantee, 5 were covered. No, is there any logic behind this? Means no logic. Are you getting it? These provisions were drafted and added in different points of time by different people. If I ask you who is relative according to you, you will give some 3-4 relationships. If I ask another person who is relative according to him, he will give 7-8 relationships. Correct? Exactly same. So related party means who? Important related party means who? Important person means who? For everybody, it will have different number. Same way, when law is being made, The people who are drafting the law, according to their experience, according to their understanding, they will put that company list. Getting the point? That's it. So, this is a interpretation point. This is not a very big interpretational issue. Now, exception. So, you see how the disqualifications are drafted. You should not be a body corporate. That's okay. That's a legal interpretation issue. So, they removed it. You should not be an officer of the company. You should not be their partner, their employee. You should not have securities in the company. You should not have, indebtedness to the company. You must not have guarantee. You must not have given guarantee to the company. All the ways they are prohibiting. Just to make you independent. Very simple. What are they trying to achieve? Auditor and the company should not have any relationship. You should not have business relationship. Business relationship means what? You should not be a distributor, sub-distributor, wholesaler, retailer. Able to understand? Can I be a customer of a company? Can I be a consumer of the goods of the company? For that, no problem. As long as you are purchasing goods at arm's length price in ordinary course of business, no problem. Able to understand? When the problem will come, if you buy goods on credit, that too more than 5 lakhs, then only the problem will come. Indebtedness point will attract. Are you getting it? Otherwise, if you are purchasing on cash basis, using company goods and services for so many years, so much you are using every year, no problem. But if I am buying company goods and services with a view to resell, then it is called as business relationship. Are you getting it? Same way, professional services permitted to be rendered. For the company where I am acting as an auditor, I can provide some services. I can provide some services to the company as per CA Act. There are some additional services, even though I am auditor, I can provide. But which services permitted, but not prohibited? If at all you are providing prohibited services, you are disqualified under J point. Other than prohibited services, are you permitted to render any other service along with audit? Yes. If it is permitted service, even though you are having some relationship with the company, we will not treat it as business relationship. Apart from permitted service, apart from consumer relationship, if you have any reseller relationship with the company, distributor, dealer, authorized dealer, any such kind of relationship, what will happen? You are disqualified. Are you getting the point? Because if you are having a business relationship, you are having interest in the company, self-interest threat again. Next. Not only that, we have seen B point, officer of a company, employee of a company disqualified. Their partner and employee is disqualified. Not only him, relative of a director, relative of a key managerial person are also disqualified. And a person who is in full-time employment disqualified. Actually on this, so much of discussion is there, but revision it is not required. Getting it? Even in exam point of view, not required. Or a person or a firm, a person or a partner of a firm holding appointment of more than 20 company auditors as on the date of proposed appointment. So this is called audit ceiling. What is this called as? Audit ceiling. Which means audit ceiling is not to protect independence, but to protect quality of the audit. What is the audit ceiling guidelines? What is the necessity of audit ceiling? Quality of audit. You cannot give permission to a single CA to accept any number of audits. He can audit maximum 20. How many maximum? 20 companies. However, the following companies, any number I can audit. 20 limit do not apply for the following companies. Which companies 20 limit do not apply? 1% dormant small company or a private limited company having paid up capital less than 100 crore provided such private company does not violate 137(92) section. If a private limited company do not violate 137(92) sections under company law provisions, getting it, and having paid up capital less than 100 crore, that kind of private companies, any number of companies I can do audit. Now tell me 20 companies they are saying no. Is it per financial year or per assessment year or what? At any point of time. Today right now I received a call example. Someone is asking me to do audit of a company. I will just look at my list of companies. Right now I am acting as auditor. Right now I am acting as auditor in some company's position. I will look at the list. Total I will see 20. If it is 20, I will not accept this company. If it is less than 20, I will accept the new company which is asking me. Able to understand? Any day whenever you receive a new worker, new client, new company audit, check whether how many companies right now, right then, how many companies are acting as an auditor. That's it. It is not per year, per financial, nothing such. Any point of time, at any point of time, you cannot do more than 20 companies. And while counting the 20, these companies will not be considered. Suppose if it is a partnership firm, the 20 limit applies per partner. It is applicable per partner. Now, in case if a firm is having multiple partners, number of partners multiplied by 20. Which partners you will consider? Only those partners who are CAs, having COP. Suppose I'm a partner in 2 firms. Now on firm A 20, firm B 20. No, all firms together. From my name, on my name. How many I can accept? Maximum 20. Clear? Suppose if I am doing audit of a private company having paid up capital less than 100 crore but violated 137, violated 92, will this be exempted from ceiling limit? No, that will be counted as part of ceiling limit. Yeah. Next, in CA Act we have 30. In CA Act, what is the ceiling limit? 30, including private companies. Including private companies. Their private companies are not given exemption. Only 1% company, dormant company were exempted as per CA Act. You can do maximum 30, excluding 1% dormant company. Remaining all will be counted. Now you have a doubt. Which one we should satisfy, sir? Both. Which one you should satisfy? Both. Suppose I am having 35 private company audits. Company law, as per company law, it is okay, fine. But as per CA Act, it is not permitted. Because I am having more than totally 30 companies. More than 30 companies I'm having, I'm disqualified as per CA Act. Code of Ethics. ICA will take an action against me. Are you getting the point? It's okay, you need not have that knowledge. Later you can learn. I'm just giving you a hint. Next up. Tax audits. How many you can have? 60. How many you can have? 60 tax audits. So, in computing specified number of audits, whether you are handling singly or combination with another chartered accountants, everything shall be taken. The number of partners of a firm on the date of accepting the new work shall be taken into account. Who are in full-time employment shall not be counted for ceiling limit. Yes or no? If at all, a member in practice is exceeding the limit, he is treated as guilty of professional misconduct. We have in ethics, schedule 1, part number 1, clause number 9. There is a guideline. If at all you are accepting company audit without satisfying provisions of Companies Act, it is treated as guilty of professional misconduct. You will understand that in CA final. Next. A chartered accountant in practice, okay, what they need to do? Everyone have to maintain a record of works they are accepting. You need to maintain record of your clients list. That's it. All of you clear? Then we have another disqualification, important disqualification. Prohibited services. What is the disqualification? Prohibited services. I'm not covering every point. Remember, I'm only covering important disqualifications. Major I covered. Now, if a person directly or indirectly rendering any services under 144 to the company, holding company, subsidiary company, you are disqualified. What services if you render, you are disqualified? 144 services. 144 services name is what? Prohibited services. What do you mean by prohibited services? What do you mean by prohibited services? See, these are the prohibited services. They will ask you a straight question on this 4 marks question. What are they? Accounting services. To the same company, you cannot be accountant and auditor. Internal audit you cannot do because you are stat auditor. Why will you do internal audit? Implementation of financial information system. In the company, you are implementing some accounting software. You should not. You are testing some software. You should not. You cannot provide actuarial services if at all you are acting as auditor. You cannot do investment advisory. You cannot do investment banking. Investment advisory. Suppose some stockbroker, which is a company, they appointed you as an auditor and he is asking some investment advices from you. Or you are appointed as an auditor for one big company, listed company. They are asking you to underwrite their IPO. That's called investment banking. Getting it? Outsourced services. Management services. Management services means those services where it involves decision making. Example of management service is independent director. What is it? Independent director is a management service. Able to understand? Next example. Or any other service prohibited. Suppose, if at all you are having any of the above services, can you accept the appointment as an auditor? No. Suppose if you withdraw from the above services, Can you accept the auditor appointment in that company? Yes. You should not provide these services to which companies? The company where you are proposed as an auditor, it's holding, it's a subsidiary. That's it, correct? Huh? Next, we have now they are saying the word directly or indirectly. What do you mean by directly, indirectly? If I only provide to the company, that's called, in case of auditor is sole proprietor himself, that is direct. Through relative, indirect. Or through any other person connected or associated with me through any other entity in which I have significant influence or control or whose name trademark is used by me. Getting it? You have to read this 3 and 4 and this point together. Any other person connected or associated with that individual. Associated or connected with me means what? I am a partner in another firm. Can that firm provide that services to the company? No, because the firm is connected with me. The firm is associated with me. Able to understand? Or some entity, example company. The company is providing accounting services to Tata Motors where I am auditor. What is this company? Some management consultancy other services company. In this company, I am the individual has 20% shares. I am the individual has more than 50% shares. Now in a company where I am having influence or control, the company is providing accounting services to Tata Motors where I am acting as auditor. Disqualified. Able to understand. Or the company has a brand name, same brand name we are using. Same trade name we are also using for practice. Then also it is said to be providing indirectly. Are you getting it? Similar definition was given for firm. This you look into. All of you clear? What do you mean by directly, indirectly? They asked as a straight theory question. The past one of the attempt they asked. Think it. Next. Subsequent disqualification point. What is this subsequent disqualification point? We have seen above points. If at all a chartered accountant is coming under any of the above point, we will not appoint him as an auditor. Suppose we appointed. After that disqualification arises. After that disqualification arises. Now what will happen? He shall immediately vacate the office. He shall immediately vacate the office. Yes or no? He shall immediately vacate his office. Office means what? Position. Office means what? Position of auditor. Office means not office chair table. Getting it? So auditor should immediately vacate his office. Nothing but position. But in one of the case alone, in only one case, immediately don't vacate. I am giving you 60 days time to rectify your mistake. Only if it is in this kind of disqualification, 60 days time is given. Suppose you are affected with disqualification in the above list any reason. Generally any reason. On which date you are affected with disqualification, same date you have to vacate. You don't have any other option. But if you have one disqualification, no. Security held. By relative up to 1 lakh is permitted. Suppose my relative acquired securities for more than 1 lakh face value accidentally. How accidentally? Bonus shares. What is it? Bonus shares. Suppose in Tata Motors, my wife is having some 75,000 rupees face value worth of shares. Market value doesn't matter. Market value can be crores. But face value 75,000. Tata Motors declared 1:1 bonus shares. She didn't purchase. Can a shareholder say, I alone don't want bonus share? And company declare every shareholder will be allotted. Company also cannot stop. Yes or no? Her shareholding became 1,50,000 face value because of the bonus shares. Face value increases, no? 1,50,000 face value suddenly. Now just tell me, I told her not to buy the shares because I am the auditor. I took all the precautions. Still, because of the company bonus plan, the shareholding percentage increased. Is there any mistake that I did? In all other cases, if at all something went wrong, I might have not taken sufficient precautions. Correct? Here I told, in spite of it, shareholding increased. Is there any my side mistake or my relative side mistake? That's why, because considering this difficulty, if a shareholding of relative increases more than 1 lakh, please rectify that within 60 days. Sell 50,000 worth of face value, make it less than 1 lakh. Then continue as an auditor. 60 days over, still you didn't rectify. 61st day, you have to vacate. Be able to understand. All of you, the logic. Next. Now, who is relative? In case of HUF, every member of HUF is a relative to each other. Remaining people, in case of other than HUF, husband and wife is a relative. Or father, mother, brother, sister, son, son's wife, daughter, daughter, husband. Getting it? Now here you see daughter, stepdaughter is not there. That kind of observations and all stop. புரியுதா? நம்ம கேட்ட கண்டென்ட் இல்லல தான் இந்த மாதிரி அப்சர்வேஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் ஹைலைட் பண்ண முடியும். So there is no intention here. Getting it? So all of you clear on ceiling limit, all that? So that's it. Disqualifications is done. So maximum tax audit assignments, how many you can accept? 60 per financial year. That is per financial year, not at any point of time. Whereas company audit 20 at any point of time. Be clear. Next. Next we will have to discuss appointment of auditors. Until now everyone clear? Next. Getting more clarity? Next. Appointment of auditors. Appointment of auditors. See, the appointment of auditors process involves two things. One is selection of auditor, one is selection of auditors, one is actually appointment process. Now again, selection of auditor is different for government company and selection of auditor is different for non-government company. Here also, selection of auditor is, appointment of auditor is different for government company. Appointment of auditor for non-government company, the process is different. Now, we have only in our we don't have in our syllabus how to select auditor for government company. We don't have how to select auditor for government company. We don't have in the syllabus. We have in syllabus how to select auditor for non-government company, procedure for appointment for government company, procedure for appointment for non-government company. Everything we have in our syllabus. Now here, what is a government company? 4 criteria are there. If any of these 4 criteria are satisfied by a company, it's a government company. Criteria 1, not less than 51% of the voting power held by central government. Or criteria 2, not less than 51% held by state governments, one or more state governments. Criteria 3, a combination of central and state together held minimum 51% of voting power. Or if a government company is a subsidiary of another government, if a company is a subsidiary of another government company, then that company is also government company. Only these 4 criteria. Are you getting the point? Now, many have this confusion. What is private limited company? What is public limited company? What is private sector? What is public sector? So this is where we will have an opportunity to discuss that. See, private limited company means what? The ownership of this company is restricted to private people. My company is not open to public. Anybody going on roadside public cannot come into ownership. Yes or no? You saw my company, you liked it. You want to become owner. No, not possible. It's private. Able to understand? The affairs of the company are private. Confidential. Are you getting the point? What is public limited? I'm open to public. My company shares are open to public. My members can sell to anybody. Anybody can buy and become a member. That is public limited. Understood the word public limited means what? Private limited means what? Concept part. Now, next, in this, how many of you have cleared group 1 already? Oh, நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க. Fine. It's okay. Now, what is public sector and private sector? Public sector, okay, ITC. What is it? Private sector or public sector? ITC Limited. Public sector. Major ownership is held by government. Yes or no? Tata Consultancy Services Limited. Listed company. Big listed company. Public limited listed company. Public sector or private sector? Private sector. Why? In TCS, less than 50%, more than 50% ownership is held by not government, somebody else. Some shareholders. We are all, are we government? No. We are public. If more than 51% of the voting power is held by government directly, central, state, what? Then only it is called as public sector undertaking. Otherwise, it is not public sector. Reliance, all these are public limited companies, but private sector. Private sector, public sector is not company law term. It's an economics term. Understood? In Companies Act, will you find the word private sector? Clear? Understood? That's it. So, government company means naturally public sector. Non-government company, private sector. Now, non-government company can be private limited company, public limited company. This is company law terminology. Understood the difference between public limited company and public sector company? Public sector means government owned. It may be public limited. Public limited company not necessarily government owned. Reliance Industries Limited is a public limited company. Public like you and me can buy shares, no. But is it government owned? So it's private sector. Understood? Private banks we call. Private bank means what? Private limited company. Huh? ICICI Bank is a private bank. But what is ICICI company name full form? ICICI Limited. Where is private word in that? But we are calling it as private bank because it is owned by private people, not government. Now, see how to select the auditor. In case if a company is having audit committee, so what do you mean by audit committee? See, in company, there are many board of directors. If you look at Reliance Industries Limited, it has many directors. Just a minute. So you take this is Reliance Industries Limited, and in this company, you see there are 14 directors totally. There are how many directors? 14 directors. These are the directors of Reliance company. Getting it? And you see here, so Mukesh Ambani, he is one of the directors, chairman and managing director. Neeta Ambani, non-executive director. See again, directors know there are various types. Independent director, non-independent director. Independent director is something like who do not have any interest in the company, who do not have any relationship with the company. He is just a director. Director simplicitor. We call him as. Like how auditor, same independent director. He is appointed based on merit. He is appointed to look at the company, monitor the company, watchdog. Getting it? Now you see, in listed companies or in many big companies, 14 directors were there, right? Now this company, business will be taken care, business has to be looked upon, accounts have to be maintained, audit has to be conducted. There are so many works which CSR activities have to be undertaken, governance activities have to be undertaken, HR policy should be designed, company risk and all has to be, strategic risk management and all they need to check. Strategic management you might have studied, no, business risk analysis they need to do. Do you think all these 14 directors will do all the activities? No. How the board of directors work? They divide the work between them. So that's why, how do they form? They form committees. How do they form? They form committees. There are 14 directors. Whenever board meeting is held, all 14 will present. But whenever accounts and audit shall be discussed, accounts and audit, some 4 directors are there. 4 of you take care of accounts and audit. 4 of you will take care of how? Form a committee. What committee? Audit committee. Business risk analysis has to be done every day. Some 3 directors were there. 3 of you please form. That is a risk management committee. Company HR policies shall be designed. Human resource policy, salary policy, increment policy, all that. Human resources and nomination and remuneration committee. Some directors together, 3 or 4 of them will form. Company finance completely has to be looked upon. Finance committee. Company CSR project. Some directors have to be looked upon. CSR committee. Overall governance aspects have to be checked upon. Corporate governance committee. Stakeholder relationship committee. Likewise, there are many committees which has to be formed. One example of committee is what? Audit committee. So audit committee will have whom? Board of directors. Will all directors will come in audit committee? No. Few of them will come in part of audit committee. So which companies this committee is mandatory? Now whenever audit committee is there, what will happen? They will exclusively look into audit related aspects. They will exclusively look into financial statements, preparation related things and all. They will guide. Whenever a company has audit committee, those charged with governance means whom? Audit committee. Those charged with whom governance means what? Audit committee, then board of directors. Higher level. Board is ultimate. Audit committee is below board. But audit committee will give recommendations to board. Audit committee will guide the board of directors. Not every director is having knowledge of accounts and audit. But audit committee directors will have that knowledge, because the members of audit committee must have, composition of audit committee. The audit committee will have minimum 3 directors. Majority means 51% shall be independent. The members of audit committee shall be able to read and understand financial statement. They should have financial statements knowledge. Do you think financial statements can be understood by everybody? Going concern means what? Only you and me can understand. Because we have that question. Because it is important for exams. Will our parents, even though they are educated, do they understand going concern topic if at all they are not from commerce background? Suppose your father or your mother or your relative, some of them is working in a tech company. No idea about commerce, balance sheet, nothing. You go and ask him, hey, this company is preparing financial statements on going concern basis using generally accepted accounting principles. You will not understand anything. Correct? So financial statement is not something that can be understood easily. So audit committee, whoever director is coming part of audit committee, they must be having the knowledge to read financial statements. Now, so that is how company has to constitute audit committee. Now tell me, for whom this is applicable? All listed companies, audit committee is compulsory. Unlisted public companies, any of the 3 criteria if they satisfy, any of the following 3 criteria if they satisfy, audit committee is required. Here actually exceeding 50 crore they say, it is only more. 50 crore is not there, only more than 50 crore. But this kind of mock observation is not required. Getting it? In institute they will not ask MCQ, is it 50 or more than 50? They will not ask that kind of question. Getting it? Broadly you remember, that's enough. Next, these limits shall be taken as on last preceding audited balance sheet date. Now, what is the selection of auditor for appointment of auditor? Before appointment, first you should select the auditor. No. Now, what is the procedure for selection? Suppose, if audit committee is constituted, then the auditor shall be selected by audit committee. If audit committee is constituted, then auditor must be selected by audit committee and recommended to board of directors. Board of directors can't appoint. They will recommend it to members. By the way, we are discussing this entire provision from which company point of view? Government point of view, non-government. Government company selection we don't have in syllabus. Government company auditor selection is taken care by C&AG. C&AG has some panel where you and me have to register. We chartered accountants register. If C&AG want government company appointment, they will allocate audit. They will select auditor on suitable basis. So you and me cannot decide that. So C&AG. But for non-government company, auditor will be selected by audit committee. They will recommend to board of directors and board will recommend to members. Members will appoint. Sometimes audit committee will select the board. No. Board of directors may not agree. Then what board of directors will do? Please audit committee change another person. Audit committee decided not to change. No, I will go with the same person. ABC and Co chartered accountants are very good. Board of directors are not okay. Now who will prevail? Whose decision ultimately will prevail? Board of directors. And whenever board of directors disagree with audit committee, they should record the reason. Able to understand. And wherever audit committee and board of directors disagreed with each other, corporate governance issue, it shall be given in annual report. Why board disagreed with the committees and what is the reason? They should give information in the annual report as per SEBI. Generally, board will not disagree. But if at all they disagree, they need to give explanation to all the shareholders why you did not follow audit committee. Audit committee, honest people, independent directors. They will take right decision. Why are you rejecting them? Are you getting the point? People will question. Understood or not? So ultimately they will recommend to members. Members will come and appoint. the auditor. And that appointed auditor, his appointment is valid up to 6th AGM conclusion. This is a broad process. This is what we clearly mentioned. Board may agree with the proposed auditor. If board disagrees with the recommendation, refer to audit committee for revision. Audit committee decided not to change, then board can recommend to auditor, proposed auditor, and the fact that they disagree with committee selection and reasons, members may take final action. Easy. Next. So what is the appointment procedure? What is the provisions related to appointment? Now here, again, I told you appointment process is different for government company and non-government company. Again, for government company itself, we have how to appoint first auditor, how to appoint subsequent auditor. Non-government company also we have how to appoint first auditor, how to appoint subsequent auditor. Who is a first auditor? If the auditor is appointed for the first year of its incorporation, we call him as first auditor. Nothing but if the auditor is appointed for conducting audit of first financial year, we call him as first auditor. Any other auditor is subsequent auditor. Getting it? You know, company financial year. No, there is a definition for financial year. If company financial year shall end on 31st March, shall gap, the maximum duration of financial year is what? 15 months. Maximum financial year can have how many months? 15. Only in the first year 15 months is possible. Getting it? Suppose if a company is incorporated between January 1st and 31st March, only between this, if company is incorporated on or after 1st January up to 31st March, only within these 90 days or 91 days, whatever, if a company got incorporated, it can have more than 12 months financial year. If a company incorporated on January, generally closing should be done by 31st March. But immediate 31st March I will not do. I will go beyond 31st March. Are you getting the point? I will go beyond 31st March. One of the students have told me indirectly, a company cannot have less than 3 months financial year. That interpretation is wrong because that is not a condition. Able to understand? Simple. If a company incorporated in January 1st, by 31st March instead of closing, I will close on the next 31st March. Suppose I incorporated on 1st January 2022. I will close my books of accounts on 2023. What is the gap? 15 months. Suppose I incorporated on 1st March 2022. I will close on 31st March 2024. The gap is more than 15 months. So not permitted. So 2023. Gap is less than 15 months? Yes. Accepted. Suppose I am incorporating company on 1st December 2021. Let me check up to 31st March 2023. Gap is again more than 15 months. Not permitted. But I should close on 31st March only. So which year I should come? 4 months. It is permitted. Okay. Less than 15. It can be 15 or less than 15. And should close by 31st March. So this is first year. So in some exceptional cases, first year can be more than 12 months, but not exceeding 15 months. Only first year. Second year onwards, April onwards, it will start again close on 31st March. All other years will be only 12 months. Very clear. Next. So if auditor is appointed for the first year of incorporation, we call him as first auditor. Remaining are called as subsequent auditors. Now, in case of government company, first we will discuss provisions for government company. So what is the procedure for appointment of auditor in case of government company? The first auditor will be appointed by whom? Selection will be by C&AG. Appointment will also be C&AG within 60 days from the date of registration. Many students fail to write the word from the date of registration. Complete answer. If C&AG fails to appoint, board of directors will appoint within next 30 days. If board also fails to appoint, inform the members who will appoint within 60 days at EGM. This point many people will not write. And not only this, whoever is appointed, his appointment is valid up to conclusion of next AGM. Conclusion what many people will miss. Until next AGM, until conclusion of next AGM. What's the difference? Suppose I planned the AGM on 10th August. But on that day, quorum was not formed. Or quorum was formed, some additional discussion came. AGM was adjourned to 17th August. Now AGM finally concluded when 17th August. Now, if I say appointment is valid up to until next AGM means what? 10th August. Conclusion of next AGM means what? 17th August. What is the provision? Conclusion of first AGM. So the auditor appointment, auditor shall hold office till conclusion of first AGM. Able to understand. So whenever a question has been asked on this practical question, you should write fully like this, provision. Now, what about subsequent auditor of government company? Appointment of subsequent auditor for government company. The C&AG only shall appoint within 180 days from the date of commencement of the financial year, and his appointment is valid till the conclusion of next AGM. Conclusion of next AGM. Are you getting it? For non-government company, we will check with the dates. Getting it? Now, what is the appointment procedure for non-government company? First auditor. First auditor of non-government company. Who will appoint? Board of directors will appoint. First auditor of non-government company shall be appointed by Board of Directors within 30 days from the date of incorporation. If they fail to appoint, inform the members. Members shall appoint the auditor within 90 days at EGM. 90 days will be calculated from date of registration. 90 days is calculated from date of registration. If board fails within 30 days, next 60 days members will appoint. But instead of defining next 60, what they said? Just within 90 they said. Now 90 means what? From which date? Incorporation date. Are you getting it? But don't write 60 days word. Write only 90 from incorporation. Don't even mention from incorporation. Just you understand that. You just simply write within 90 days. That's it. Are you clear? And the auditor will hold office till conclusion of first AGM. Clear? Now, we'll take an example here. Suppose a company XYZ Limited was incorporated on 10th April 2020. This is the year when the company was incorporated. So first year is what actually? What is the first year? 10th April 2022, 31st March 2020. Okay, sorry, 2021. Now, within 30 days means by 10th May we should appoint the auditor. Let us assume Board of Directors has appointed on 5th May. Board of Directors have appointed on 5th May Mr. A as the auditor. Now, Mr. A appointment is valid up to conclusion of first AGM. Company year is over on 31st March 2021. First AGM will be conducted within 9 months, no? But company decided to conduct within June itself. They didn't wait up to 6 months also, within 3 months itself. Every time the company will conduct AGM in June month only. Let us assume 15th June 2021 is first AGM for the company. No adjournment, nothing. Same day, everything concluded. Mr. A appointment is valid up to 15th June. Now, Mr. A is reappointed. For how many years? Subsequent auditor. Mr. A is appointed on the same day again. Mr. A is appointed on the same day again. Now his appointment is valid up to 6th AGM. Conclusion of 6th AGM. Which means this is year 1, this you don't count. So here he is appointed. Now first he will do audit of which year? Or let us assume Mr. B is appointed. Mr. B is appointed as subsequent auditor in the first AGM, whose appointment is valid up to 6th AGM from the conclusion of first AGM. Now Mr. B will do audit of which year first? 1st April 21, 31st March 22. So 21-22 he will do audit. 2021 last year auditor did. He audited. What about 21-22? Who will do audit? B will do. That year will over on 31st March 22. AGM is conducted 15th June 2022. Will he leave the company? No. Again he will do audit of 22-23. The AGM is conducted on 15th June 2023. Again he will do audit of 23-24. Then AGM will be completed on 15th June 2024. Same date company is conducting AGM. Let us assume. Sir, what if it is Sunday? Don't ask. Okay. Just for the sake of example. Next. 24-25. Same 15th June 2025. Again 25, 26, 31st March 2026, books of accounts closed, and audit is done in the 2026 AGM. Completely everything is done. Now he will leave. Now you see, this is the 6th AGM. From the AGM where he was appointed. Suppose if I call this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Suppose if the auditor is appointed in 40th AGM. His appointment is valid up to conclusion of 45th AGM. If auditor is appointed in the conclusion of 45th AGM, his appointment is valid up to conclusion of 50th AGM. Likewise it will come. Able to understand, all of you. Correct? So now you see, for how many years he is doing audit totally? How many financial years? 5 financial years he is doing audit. Able to understand? Now we will say no, auditor is appointed for 5 years. Not correct. Auditor is appointed for conducting audit of 5 financial years. That is correct sentence. Suppose no, first AGM is conducted in 15th June, whereas 6th AGM was conducted in September. Gap is more than 5 years. But 6 AGMs only. But gap is more than 5 years. Our first AGM was conducted in September. 5th AGM was conducted in June 6th. The gap is less than 5 years. So auditor may be appointed for a duration of more than 5 years or less than 5 years. But he will do audit of. That's it. Understood. Conceptually you should understand all this. Next. Next. So everyone clear all of this, all of you. So that's it. So that is regarding subsequent auditor provision. Every company shall at AGM appoint an individual or a firm, and appointed auditor shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of 6th AGM, and thereafter till the conclusion of every 6th AGM. Now this question has been asked. What are the certificates the company shall obtain from the proposed auditor or proposed cost auditor or proposed secretary, anybody? What are the certificates the company shall obtain from proposed cost auditor? They may ask you like this. Cost auditor also has same disqualifications. Before appointment is made, first get the consent. First of all, is he interested or not? Ask him. Don't give him a surprise that he was appointed. Correct? Next, a certificate indicating he is eligible and not disqualified. You should get a certificate that he should give a self-declaration that I am eligible to become auditor of the company. I met with qualification. I don't have any disqualification. And he should once again give declaration. Total number of audits after accepting this client also will be within ceiling limit. And I should give him list of pending cases against me or my partner or the firm indicated in proper manner. I should give all these declarations to the company. Only then company board of directors recommend to members. Then members will appoint. Yes or no? Once auditor is appointed by the company shall file a form with ROC within 15 days. The form number is ADT1. Mostly they will not ask this form number. Some senior citizens, whoever is setting paper, they will ask. Getting it? Now, வீட்டோ உக்கார மாட்ட சும்மா எக்ஸாம் பேப்பர் செட்ரா வந்துட்டு இந்த மாதிரி மொக்க கொஸ்டின் எல்லாம் கேள்வி கேட்பா. எஸ் ஆர் நோ? இதை 30 days 60 days என்ன ஆச்சுன்னா என்ன ஆயிடு உனக்கு எனக்கு? You should ask the concept. Yes or no? You should test the concept, analytical skills of the student. Next. Everyone clear? Where at any AGM, if no auditor is appointed or reappointed, existing will continue to be auditor. This provision is copy pasted from previous Companies Act to this Companies Act. Now in this Companies Act, no relevance for this. Getting the point? Earlier, no, before this 2013 Companies Act, we used to have appointment every year. Only after 2013 Companies Act, 5 years at a time appointment concept came. Now 5 years appointment concept at a time, we will not apply this provision. But still some super senior citizens setting the paper are questioning this. Because they don't know Companies Act 2013, they would have not read. They read only 1956, they're still in that only. Next. So all of you clear? Everyone? Next. Provisions of filing casual vacancy. So how to fill casual vacancy of the auditor? So what is that vacancy? Casual vacancy. What is meant by the word casual? They just used casually. Promise. They just used the word casually. There is no significance for the word casual. See, when will I say casual vacancy? If at all uncasual vacancy is there, then it's a casual vacancy would have some significance. Is there any uncasual vacancy provision in the law? No. Simple. In auditor's office, no position, no. If auditor is not there in the position, is disqualified because of some reason, then there is a space, no, there is an empty, no, in the position. Who is auditor? So that vacancy is called as casual vacancy. Are you getting it? Now casual vacancy shall be filled. Yes or no? So how to fill the casual vacancy? First of all, what do you mean by casual vacancy? First of all, what do you mean by casual vacancy? In this example, the auditor was appointed on 15th June 2021. Yes or no? First AGM. And his appointment is valid up to 15th June 2026, which is 6th AGM conclusion. I am talking about non-government company. Example. Now, this is the date of appointment. This is the expiry of term. What is it called as? Expiry of the term. This is called term of appointment or tenure. So, once the term is over, then the term is expired. What you have to do on the expiry? You have to leave the company. But before expiry of the term. You left the company. The auditor left the company before expiry of term. Why he will leave the company before expiry of the term? There are many reasons. Yes or no? The auditor might have died, demise of the auditor. Or if it is a partnership form, dissolution might have happened. Or the auditor may become incompetent to contract. The auditor may have become incompetent to contract as per contract law. Or auditor might have been disqualified subsequently after the appointment. Subsequent disqualification immediately shall vacate, and that vacancy shall be treated as casual vacancy. Or auditor was removed by the company only removed, or tribunal removed. Either company or NCLT, someone have removed. Or auditor poita resignation. Auditor himself resigned. Any reason. By any reason, if the position of the auditor became empty, that vacancy is called as what? Casual vacancy. Remember, there is a definition for casual vacancy. Vacancy arising in auditor's office by any reason other than expiry of term. Other than expiry of term, if vacancy comes, that's a casual vacancy. Term expired, he left. That is not casual vacancy. 6 days he will leave company. Is it vacancy? No, that is not casual vacancy. Before expiry of term, vacancy if arises, it's called as casual vacancy. Now, how to fill the casual vacancy is the question. Can I just leave like that, or should we fill the auditor? That is the question. We must fill the auditor. Casual vacancy in case of non-government company, what is the procedure? In case of government company, what is the procedure? This is the question. Now, in case of government company, casual vacancy shall be filled by whom? C&AG within 30 days. Hey, auditor left the company, man. Audit was not conducted. Books of accounts have to be prepared. Books are prepared. Auditor has to conduct the audit. Audit report should be given. We should send to all the shareholders. We should call for the general meeting. All this, if it should happen, audit must be done. And the auditor left. So we cannot continue like this without auditor. Can we conduct AGM without having financial statements? You might have seen in 137. Yes or no? So C&AG will appoint within 30 days. If C&AG do not fill, board of directors will fill within next 30 days. Now, what if it is a government company? What is the why auditor vacancy is there? Check it out. Auditor died, or dissolution in case of partnership firm, or incompetence to contract, or subsequently disqualified, or he was removed by the company. Any reason other than resignation. Vacancy arises not because of resignation. We only removed it. Board of directors can fill within next 30 days another chartered accountant. Suppose if it is resignation, the appointment shall be approved by company at the general meeting. Which general meeting? EGM, which will be convened within 3 months of the recommendation of the board. Board will recommend the auditor. They will not appoint. They don't have power to appoint you. They will recommend the auditor. Within 3 months, meeting will be conducted. Their auditor will be appointed. Are you getting the point? All of you. Sir, within 3 months, AGM only coming, sir. Can I directly appoint in AGM? If you want to conduct AGM, first books of accounts, financials, everything must be audited. No. Audit report must be there. No. Then only you can conduct AGM. Correct? Huh? In order to call AGM, you must send 21 days notice. Along with notice, what will you send? Financial statements and audit report. So, auditor resigned, financial statements not ready, financial statements were not audited. How can you call for AGM? At a time, how can you mix these two? So first call AGM, appoint auditor. He will do audit. Then again call AGM. He will explain to all the shareholders all the things. Clear? Now we are appointing auditor, no? Government company, anyhow it is appointment is valid up to next AGM conclusion. Non-government company 5 years, no. In casual vacancy also 5 years it will come. No. In casual vacancy if you are appointed, always your appointment will be until conclusion of next AGM only. Original auditor was appointed for 5 years. You are not appointed for 5 years. You are appointed temporarily. In AGM, people will decide. In AGM, people will decide. Able to understand. That's it. So what is casual vacancy meaning is also explained. Next. Now, auditor can resign, no? How he should resign? That is a question. How he should resign? Can he resign or not is debatable question. That you will understand in final. How to resign, all that. If at all you want to resign, what procedure you should follow? That is given under Companies Act. First, if you want to resign, inform the same to C&AG in case of government company. More importantly, first inform to the company. Yes or no? And you need to file a form with ROC in ADT3 within 30 days from the date of resignation. In auditing chapter, you will get totally 4 forms. ADT1, ADT2, ADT3 and 4. 1 and 2 filed by company. ADT3 and 4 filed by auditor. ADT3 resignation. ADT4 reporting of fraud. ADT1 appointment of auditor by the company. Means company did the appointment, so they need to inform. Company want to remove the auditor. Say they did removed, so they need to file. Resignation who did? Auditor. So he has to file. Fraud who should report? Auditor. So who should file? Auditor. That's why 1 and 2 by company, 3 and 4 by auditor. Understood. Next. Now, whatever the reason form you are filing, no, should you mention reason or not? Clearly. Whatever, anything is fine. Getting any reason you can mention. So, the auditor should mention the reasons and other facts that may be relevant regarding resignation. Suppose if you fail to comply with this, if you fail to comply with the above terms and conditions, you are liable for punishment under 140 subsection 3. What is the punishment? 140 subsection 3 says, if you fail to inform the company, if you fail to inform the C&AG, if you fail to mention the reason for resignation, if you fail to file ADT3 form with the ROC, any failure, you are liable for penalty. Penalty is having 3 parts. Fixed penalty, variable penalty. In the law, you don't find these words. For understanding purpose, I am using. What is a fixed penalty? Auditor is liable for a penalty. What is the provision? In case if the auditor failed to comply with 140 subsection 2, he is liable for a penalty of 50,000 rupees or auditor's remuneration, whichever is lower, and for continuing failure, 500 rupees per day, subject to overall maximum of 2 lakhs. This is a question. This is a statement. Now, fixed penalty is how much? 50,000 rupees or remuneration, whichever is lower. And variable penalty is what? 500 rupees per day for continuing failure from the date of first failure. Now, when the first failure will start? After 30 days. After 30 days. Within 30 days you have to inform. Up to 30th day, is there any failure on your part? After 30 days also, you didn't inform them. 31st day onwards, you are failing start? No. So, every day is a failure? No. You are failing with the provision. So, for every day after 30 days, 500 rupees per day penalty we have to calculate. Now, as a whole, what is the maximum limit? 2 lakhs. That's it. Easy or not? Next. Now, then we still have removal of auditor. So, next. Removal of auditor. Now, removal of auditor is again having 2 provisions. Removal of auditor by company, removal of auditor by NCLT. Removal of auditor by company, removal of auditor by NCLT. Now, what is the procedure? If company board of directors want to remove, first board resolution is required. Then you must obtain central government approval within next 30 days. Getting it? Central government gave approval. You filed a form ADT2 to central government and got approval. After getting approval, within next 60 days, conduct an extraordinary general meeting. Inform the members what happened clearly. Pass special resolution. Pass special resolution. 3/4 majority is compulsory. Only if central government gave approval, only after passing special resolution, auditor will be removed. Otherwise, he will not be removed. Now, before you do this entire process, if you want to remove the auditor, first you should communicate him, no. Opportunity of being heard should be given, no. So, before removing the auditor, an opportunity of being heard shall be given. Now, here you see the provision. The rotation, I'll come back later, okay? So, provisions related to removal of auditor. Getting it? So, an opportunity of being heard shall be given to the auditor before removing him. Actually, in my main material, I think we have added a question. Why central government approval is required for removing an auditor before expiry of term? Actually, removal means what? Is it after expiry of term or before expiry of term? Logically, common sense, before. Term expired, he will only leave. Why you have to remove? After 6 months, you will only leave. Why should I suspend you? Correct, huh? So, before expiry of the term only, removal, permission, prior government, prior approval of the government, everything is required. Otherwise, not required. Correct, huh? So, in the main material, I have a question, additional question. Why central government approval is required? Why central government approval is required if auditor shall be removed before expiry of term? Suppose if auditor want to be removed after expiry of term, that is not removal first of all. That is not removal. Auditor will naturally change. Able to understand. Now you have a provision here. 140 subsection 4. There is a provision. How to appoint an auditor other than retiring auditor. How to appoint an auditor other than retiring auditor. Special notice. Have you seen all that? So many will read that provision without understanding it. I will give you the logic here. Okay. So understood until now? Next. Removal of auditor by NCLT. When NCLT will remove the auditor? When NCLT will remove the auditor? If NCLT received an application from either tribunal on its own or central government or some aggrieved party. What application? Application is received that auditor of a company has acted in fraudulent manner, colluded with the directors and officers and cheated public. Then tribunal will direct the company to change auditor. Then that means casual vacancy arisen. Company will appoint another auditor. Government company, C&AG will appoint. Suppose if the application is made by central government. Central government means what? Income tax department, GST department, somebody. Okay. And tribunal satisfied that change is required. Then it shall make an order that he will not function as auditor within 15 days of receiving the application from central government. And central government may appoint another auditor in his place. Understood or not? Further, the auditor on whom this prohibition order was made, the auditor in respect of whom the prohibition order was passed, he will not be liable to become an auditor for another 5 years. The firm itself is disqualified for 5 years for all other companies. The firm against whom this disqualification notice was given, it is disqualified, for 5 years to do statutory audit for any company. Not only the company where you are removed. In every other company also you are disqualified for next 5 years. But this CFO can do non-audit services. Audit services they can't do. Able to understand. That's it. So that is regarding removal of auditors by tribunal. Next we have rotation of auditors. Getting it? Actually we have a spelling mistake here. So rotation of auditor. It's okay. If at all you have that any small mistake, you can take it out. Now, rotation is applicable for these companies. I'm not talking about the rotation. Applicability points. What is the manner of rotation? Why rotation of auditors concept came? To eliminate familiarity threat. If you are having continuous association with company for so many years, if you are continuing as an auditor for so many years, will you develop some bonding or not? Auditors and directors develop some bonding. Maybe you don't have any relationship with the company, business relation, you don't have shares, but your independence of mind will affect, no? Naturally, you develop some sympathy towards the client. They will develop some sympathy, some bonding will be developed. Now you are becoming more familiar. Mind is compromised now. Able to understand? So, compulsorily auditor has to be changed. By the way, this provision is applicable for which companies? Non-government companies. For government company, C&AG will take care. We are discussing rotation provision only for non-government company. Now, what is the rotation provision says? If at all a company appointed individual as an auditor, for how many years an individual can be appointed continuously? One term of 5 years. Not even 5 years, they say 5 consecutive years. Now, an individual completed one term. First, 39th AGM appointed, up to 44th AGM conclusion, this fellow is there. Can we reappoint him one more term? No. Can I reappoint one more term? No. Because he is an individual. For how many years we should block him? From expiry of the term till next 5 years, I should not appoint him. Correct? Suppose if it is a partnership firm, my auditor, can I appoint at a time 10 years? No. I will appoint for one term of 5 consecutive years. Can I immediately reappoint for another term of 5 years? Yes. Another term we appointed. After 11th AGM, can we appoint again one more term of 5 years? No. How many years we should block them? 1. Getting it? Now, in my entire lifetime, with 2 auditors, can I manage? Happily, I can manage. 10 years, one firm appointed. 5 years, another auditor. Again, 10 years, I brought back the firm. Again, 5 years, this fellow will come back. With the 2 persons, with the 2 individuals, or with the 2 firms, I can easily manipulate. No. Able to understand. All of you. Now, you see the word here, they use the word firm of auditors. Firm of auditors means sole proprietor of partnership firm. Act do not contain anything clearly, but ICI gave a notification saying it is, MCA gave a notification saying it is a partnership firm and LLP. Not sole proprietary firm. Sole proprietary firm is also firm only. Able to understand. Now, when you are rotating, getting it? What points you should take care? You should take care. Like we will call, if an auditor who is appointed in 39th AGM, he will be retiring in 44th AGM. He is retiring. Can I reappoint him? Means I will check, is he eligible or not. If the company rotation is applicable, this is individual not eligible for reappointment. If not eligible for reappointment, retiring auditor will be reappointed or not. Not reappointed means he will leave the company. Then he is called as outgoing auditor. Now in his place another auditor is coming. No, we call him as incoming auditor. Now incoming audit firm, outgoing audit firm, common partner should not be there. If at all there is a common partner, the new firm is also blocked for 5 years. Outgoing auditor, incoming auditor shall not belong to same network, Airtel Jio, not that. Getting it? There are network firms in India. Okay, like Deloitte, KPMG, ENY, BDO, PwC. There are so many network firms in India. Grant Thornton, getting it? So GT. So there are so many network firms that are there in India. Now, network means what? It's a brand name. The actual firm is different. ABC & Co is a Deloitte firm. DEF & Co is also Deloitte firm. DHI & Co is also Deloitte firm. ABC & Co completed 10 years in one company, 2 terms. Now, can I appoint DEF & Co, which is also Deloitte network related firm? No. Network itself should change. Sir, what is network? How to form this network? All that you have in CA final ethics chapter. Now, it is not required. Understood or not? Not only that, a person who is a partner in charge of the firm certifies the financial statements of the company, retire from the company and join another firm. The another firm is also disqualified for 5 years. Suppose last 10 years ABC & Co is our auditor. In that, Mr. A is signing our balance sheet P&L. Our company balance sheet P&L. Now that firm 10 years completed, left. Mr. A withdrawn from the firm, resigned from the firm also. Came out, retirement of the partner. Joined with another firm. Is it a common partner? No. He is not a common partner. He removed, no. In one partnership, he came out. So common partner point cannot be applied. Now he joined another new firm, right? Can I appoint that as an auditor? Then also not appoint. No, you should not appoint. Now here people are making all wrong interpretations. Sir, Mr. A signed the financials and he resigned. He went to another firm. Then the firm is disqualified. Suppose ABC & Co, sir, 10 years they did audit. Mr. A is only signing our financials. But Mr. A did not come out. Mr. B came out. and joined another firm. What about that? Still disqualified. Understand the intention of the law. Here, provisions, rotation principles are inclusive or exhaustive. Principles must be understood as inclusive. Understand the intention of the principle. Accordingly, if at all there is a resemblance of the partners, don't accept that audit. Don't accept them as an auditor. Clear? They only speak about 3 criteria, but doesn't mean only 3 you need to look into. Understand the logic behind that and accordingly fulfill it. Clear? Next. There is a question on this. The concept of joint audit. There is a correct or incorrect question on this. The Companies Act has some traces about joint audit, or the Companies Act do not contain any traces for joint audit. Correct or incorrect question? Incorrect. Actually, in Companies Act, there is nowhere joint audit word is covered. Only in one provision it was covered. That too in the rotation of auditors. Here it is covered. Here it is covered. What they will say here? You see here, subject to the provisions of the Act, members may resolve that. What are they saying? Members may resolve that. In the firm appointed by it, auditing partner, nothing but engagement partner and team shall be rotated at such interval. What they can say? Okay, audit firm is appointed for 5 years. Sir, 5 years, same person don't come and do audit. Every year change. For better purpose. Members of the company may take that kind of decision also. Now, is it a normal rotation? Is it rotation? Is it change of auditor? Rotation of auditors means what, man? Change of the firm or change of partner? Firm. Here they are talking about what? Change of partner. That's why I call it as internal rotation. This is not firm changing, auditor changing. Just, sir, every year same partner. Why same partner every year? Every year let them come different partner. Is it compulsory, by the way? No. Members, if they resolve, then they have to follow. Or members may resolve. Audit will be conducted by more than one auditor. Members, if they decided, joint auditors can be appointed. Now tell me, Companies Act 139 subsection 2 indirectly speaks about joint auditors, no? So, do Companies Act contain any reference to joint audit? Yes. Can I say Companies Act is not at all speaking about joint audit? No. Are you clear? All of you. Just a minute, I will show you the question, how it will come. You see, I have given many questions, practical questions also. Okay, in the main book. I told, right, this is only a concept notes. Here we have given practical questions, how to present in the answer, everything is highlighted. So here the audit, true or false statements. In my main book at the end of the chapter, true or false statement is covered. You see, 19th question, you see true or false statement in my main book. The concept of joint audit has legal foothold under Companies Act 2013. Correct or incorrect statement? Correct. Under section 139, you can write 139 if you don't remember subsection. The members of company may resolve that audit shall be conducted by more than one auditor. Hence, the concept of joint audit has legal foothold. Legally, in Companies Act, identity is there. Companies Act is silent, generally joint audit, but indirectly through rotation, this point is indirectly covered, joint audit concept. That's it. With this, rotation is also completed. With this, rotation of auditors is also completed. Just one more provision I have. Before expiry of term, everything we finished. No, powers of auditor, all that I'll discuss later. Along with audit report, I'll cover. Powers, duties, all that. Reporting of fraud also I'll cover only with audit report. Audit of branch office accounts, applicability of provisions, appointment of auditor of all this I'll cover later. Provisions related to cost records. That also I'll cover later. So, what is the procedure for appointment of auditor other than retiring auditor? Generally, no. Suppose retiring auditor means what? Suppose we appointed auditor at 39th AGM. His appointment is valid up to 44th AGM. Suppose company directors, no, they decided, okay, let us change auditors. Until 44th AGM, he will continue. Before that, they will have board meeting. Audit committee will say another auditor name. They will approve. They will send AGM notice that in the 44th AGM, another auditor will be appointed up to 49th AGM. Notice has been sent. Members came. New auditor was appointed. Correct? How appointment of new auditor will happen? Suppose I have right now Mr. A. 44th AGM, until that his appointment is valid. Now, 44th AGM onwards, I want to appoint Mr. B. What is the process I will follow? Company. Board of directors will form a resolution. What resolution? 44th AGM onwards, Mr. B will be our auditor. Now, AGM notice they will send to the members. In the notice, they will mention Mr. B will be our upcoming auditor from 44th AGM to 49th AGM. Shareholders will come, approve it, over. Correct? Where is special notice in this? Where is special notice? Here they are saying no, special notice shall be required. Have you read this provision? All of you, how many of you have read this provision? 140 subsection 4. It says special notice. Suppose, look at this situation. Suppose appointed auditor, Mr. A, in 39th AGM. Up to 44th AGM, his appointment is valid. Company decided, directors, they decided, Mr. A is working very well. Let us appoint same auditor from 44 to 49. Forget about rotation, all that for the time being. The company rotation does not apply. Okay, fine. So, 44 to 49 also same auditor. Now company sent me notice. Hey, come for AGM. In that notice I saw, same auditor is going to be reappointed. I am a key shareholder. Who am I? Key shareholder having 1% voting power in the company. Getting it? I thought auditor will be changed. Because previously Mr. A is our auditor, right? Up to 44th AGM, he is having so many cases pending against him. Right now he is an auditor for one company which is in insolvency. He is facing so many cases against. If the same person is our company auditor, I am worried. But anyhow, appointment was made. 44th AGM, he will leave. Directors will only change voluntarily, I thought. Directors only will voluntarily change. So I can happily come and approve new auditor. But when I saw the notice, I shocked. What the notice says? Mr. A is proposed to be reappointed. Along with me, every shareholder have received. What will happen if I don't react? Everybody will come, approve and leave happily. But I am a key shareholder. I don't want this to happen. What can I do? I will give special notice to the company 14 days before the AGM. Because they sent me notice 21 days before. And I saw within 7 days I should react. So I should send notice to company. Within 14 days, before the AGM, I will send a notice, special notice. I am objecting Mr. A's reappointment. The following are the reasons. Please circulate my special notice to every other shareholder. Company circulated to every other shareholder. Until now, how many companies circulated? 2 documents. First document, director's intention to reappoint. Second document, one of the shareholders' objection on reappointment. Now, auditor also, he will also receive special notice. Auditor said, hey, on me, what are these objections? I will give reply on this. Auditor gave written representation to the company at least 7 days before meeting. Company shall distribute this written representation to all other shareholders, including me, who sent the notice. Now everybody got 3 documents. Original notice, where Mr. A is being reappointed as proposed by directors. Special notice objecting Mr. A reappointment. Mr. A reply on the objection. Now shareholders will come. They have all the 3 documents, entire information. They will take the final call. Suppose shareholders believed special notice. What will happen? Will they reappoint the auditor? No. Now tell me, other than retiring auditor, we will appoint obviously another auditor. So in this situation only special notice is required. Otherwise, suppose if company itself decided to change to Mr. B, will I issue special notice? Company itself sent a new auditor name. Should I issue notice saying don't appoint existing auditor? That's what now we mentioned in the notice. Able to understand. That's it. So that's a power. Have you read special notice provisions in company's law? Company law? Have you? That's it. So with this 140 subsection 4 is also completed. Suppose no, for the company rotation is applicable. 5 years individual completed. Should you give special notice telling the company don't appoint once? Already we don't appoint. Law will not permit, first of all. You need not tell. So that's what the last note point. This provision need not be applied where retiring auditor completed tenure of 5 years as per 139. Means if rotation of auditors provision is applicable, already tenure completed, company has to change. Even if company reappointed, board of directors are liable for punishment. Understood or not? That's it. Major provisions of company audit chapter are discussed. Remaining provisions of company audit we will have to discuss after audit report. So next chapter will start audit report. Comfortable? Easy? That's it. Okay. So we'll start tomorrow the audit report chapter. We'll continue in the next session. Okay. Thank you.